Welcome back inside the State Champ Studios for another edition of Hockey Time. I'm Jonathon Kidd along with Sean Baligian. It was great times at the MIHL Prep Hockey Showcase. You ate all the Fig Newtons that they gave you and the jalapeno cheddar beef jerky.
Yeah, what a great time. I mean, most importantly, the hockey was outstanding all weekend long. You had great games Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Shout out once again to everybody in Trenton. I mean, you guys are the best. The hospitality is second to none. And Johnny, the hockey was outstanding.
Also, too, I thought the pita wraps, the chicken shawarma pita wraps were a popular item in the hospitality room.
Unfortunately, I missed them. I heard good things about them, but no, honestly, just first class all the way. And again, showcasing all the great talent in the great state of Michigan.
State Champs Hockey Time is presented by our friends at the Alto Equipment Company. And Sean, later in the show, we're going to be updating our Player of the Year and Wall Award.
We said it was moving week, and we've got some moving to do. There some no-brainers as far as I'm concerned, including a guy jumping back on the list.
All right, so let's recap what happened at the MIHL Prep Hockey Showcase, and let's start with our Game Time Live broadcast between Detroit Catholic Central and Flint Powers. Catholic Central won 3-1. What you saw in that game?
You know, it's interesting because we talked about Blank last week on the show, and he was the talk of the tournament. I mean, he was phenomenal both games. I really like Powers. And
talk about the performance of Hunter Clark.
Hunter Clark is, one of the best goaltenders in the state. Owen Perry. Folks, when you're talking about freshmen around the state, and it's pretty cool that we're talking about some outstanding freshmen, you better include that kid's name. I love the way he plays. It isn't just about the numbers. It's the way he plays as well. That is a darn good team. And as far as I'm concerned, one of the favorites in D2. Catholic Central, I've said it all year. I'm going to continue to say it. No disrespect to anybody. I still think that they're the measuring stick for everybody. And, I know a lot of people looking ahead to the playoff, and rightfully so.
The potential regional final matchup with Heartland.
It could be epic because Heartland is, in my mind, no doubt about it, number 2 in the state. But Catholic Central is still the team to beat.
And how about Flint Powers the following day? They took on Houghton. And how about let Aiden cook? He scored the game-winning goal with a few seconds left.
Well, there's a reason why he's been on the list all year. I mean, that's the thing about it. So, when you're getting the play that you're getting from that top line, including from a freshman, when you're getting the play in the back end that you're getting and you're limiting teams, boy, that's a recipe for success. And Travis Perry's won a championship before. I would, again, John, I'd put them as one of the clear favorites in D2.
In our other Game Time Live broadcast, it was Trenton taking on Marquette. Trenton with the big win. They followed up the following day against Escanaba. Trenton is on a roll.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, they are getting right at playoff time. We've seen them do that 1,000 times. I was just saying one thing about Flint Powers, and I'm going to say the exact same thing about Trenton. One of the favorites in D2. Make no mistake about it. I think you look at them and you look at Brother Rice. They're two teams that are getting right at the right time of the season. Durbin, we saw him early in the year. All I've seen is this kid go like that. And you've got other pieces as well. Guys that do the little things. Knighting, Tinsley's a player. I like their defense core. And give Civvy some props. More on him later. Give Civvy some props. He was solid in net.
I just want to give a quick shout out to our amazing crew on Friday night. Sean, Mike, Patty, everyone else, I'll give one special shout out to Brandon Kalinicki because he was very concerned about me in the kick cam outfit, the white. I almost got hit by a couple of those CC players.
Yeah, it's easy to blend in with the ice. There's no doubt about that. But no, you know what? Shout out to the coaches as well. I know the coaches did the interviews with Patty. Patty's outstanding. I think they found out what a professional, classy person she is. So thanks for being a part of the broadcast. And John, so many good stories from the weekend. I mean, we could sit here and talk for the next 15 minutes.
Well, we could.
Well, you know what? There are a couple things. You know what jumped out to me? I'm going to bring up. I liked Sue. And I know that they lost 2 tight games, and they don't like to do that. I think that's a big team. I think that's a team to keep an eye on. I'll say the same thing about Houghton. I know they lost 2 tight games, but take a look at who they looked at. I think they're going to be better for it moving ahead. So I think those are 2 teams in the UP to keep an eye out for. Byron Center with that win against Livonia Stevenson, I think that's a statement that basically they're saying to everybody, hey, guys, Don't forget, we're the defending D2 champions. So pretty cool stuff. Orchard Lake winning in the way that they did. So many good stories to talk about from the showcase.
And how about Sparta? They beat Jackson Lumen Christie with under 2 minutes left, and then they follow up against Grand Rapids Christian.
And that's a team that, you saw them start to go like this last year, and they're continuing that climb. They're basically telling everybody, don't forget about us. And that's what's cool about this is you get a chance to go over and see some of these teams and some of these players that, listen, I'll be the first guy to tell you, if I haven't seen somebody, man, I want to tell you I haven't seen somebody, and all I can do is go on word of mouth. But when you get the opportunity to see somebody, that's when you can start talking them up as far as I'm concerned. And that's what's cool about an event like the Trenton Showcase.
I want to talk about Liggett. They had 2 good wins over the weekend. They shut out Plymouth 3-0, and they beat Riverview Gabriel Richard, an old Metro League matchup.
Well, and you know what? I guess the best way to say it coming from that is in the process, they jumped back into our rankings. They're a team that I had ranked a lot, and then they fell out. I think everybody knows about their goaltending. Keep an eye out for the Knights. I think that's a dangerous team come playoff time.
How about Brighton? They had a shootout victory over the Notre Dame Academy on Friday night. Your favorite, the shootouts. But Brighton seems like they're starting to creep up.
How many times have you seen that? How many times have we said that?
It's Brighton, right?
Yeah, it's Brighton. There's a reason we've been using that line for 7, 8, 9 years, whatever the case may be. Listen, Coach Cavisto, one of the best in the state, even with a young team, you can see that they're improving. And a lot of those young pieces, John, it's like we talked about those sophomores a few years ago. Guess what? By the end of the year, you're not a young player anymore. You're an experienced player. So they've had all these games and the gauntlet of the schedule that they play, not only the KLA slate, but certainly a lot of the out-of-conference games that they play, getting them ready come playoff time.
And I know you talked about Sioux and the game against Cranbrook, but Cranbrook, it's Cranbrook.
There's another reminder. Hi, guys, remember us? We won the Division III title, and you can't ever
2
count
good
them
goalies.
out. Yeah, and you're seeing that right now. Really, with Tyson Loisel, you're seeing each one of them kind of make the other one better. Jean-Luc up front, I really like the way that kid plays. Tim Coe's a guy to keep an eye on. But Coach LaFontaine, not only one of the classier guys you'll find, but a heck of a coach as well.
And let's touch on Detroit Country Day. They had 2 good wins at the showcase, and just the job that Coach Novak has done.
One of my favorite guys, I've said it for years, just a class guy. I always root for that guy. Nice to meet some of their players as well. They know what I'm talking about. But, hey, big fan of Frank, always rooting for you, buddy.
So moving forward here, it's just a couple weeks away from the playoffs. So what are you seeing right now?
I think there's still time for some teams to get their mojo back. I think there were some teams that were flying not too long ago that ran into a bump. And John, how many times have we seen it? Yes, ideally, you'd love to be playing your best right now. But how many times have we seen it where maybe a team kind of stumbles into the playoff and all of a sudden they found their mojo? I think there are a slew of teams out there right now on this day that maybe aren't feeling great about themselves, but also know what they have in that room and when they go out on the ice. And so those are the stories that I like to watch and develop. There's time to get right before the playoff starts, and that's what makes this playoff race so intriguing. I'm going to say it again. I think Division II, Division III in particular is going to be so much stinking fun.
Sean, you want to touch on another team in the UP. We have talked about the Sioux. We have talked about Marquette. We have talked about Hancock, Calumet, Jeffers, Houghton. How about the Negaunee Miners?
I love their social media game, first and foremost. They are prolific. No doubt about that. But congratulations. What a historic career Aiden Miles has had. Take a look at what that kid has done year in, year out. Fantastic story. Keep it up, Miners. It's been fun watching you guys the last few years and continued success. And Aiden, I hope there's a future for you in hockey because you sure did have a prolific career in the MHSAA.
It's time now for our Coaches Corner, brought to you by our friends at the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association. And Sean, we're going to shout out another legend, Chris Givens from Traverse City Central. He just got his 450th career victory.
Unbelievable. What a career he's had. And I say this all the time, as good as a coach he is, I think he's a better human being. I don't think people understand the work he does behind the scenes to promote this product. There is nobody, and I mean nobody, that talks up the opposition more than Coach Givens. He's always just a text away. Johnny, he's hit us up multiple times this year saying, keep an eye on this kid or keep an eye on this team. He's done so much for the game. He's done so much for Traverse City. Absolute legend. Congratulations, Chris. You deserve every bit of it, bud.
And we saw the Trojans up at the North-South Showcase. What do you like about this year's team?
You know what? They work really hard. That's one of the things, and I think that starts with Coach Givens. They're going to work really hard. They're going to do a lot of the small things, and that's what gives them a chance every time that they take to the ice, Johnny. And I think that starts with Coach Givens. If you're going to play for him, you better play the right way, and that team plays the right way.
So congratulations once again to the legend, Chris Givens over at Traverse City Central on your 450th career victory. And that was our Coach's Corner, brought to you by our friends at the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association. So coming up here on State Champs Hockey Time, we're going to preview the week ahead in high school hockey, and we're going to give you our changes in our Player of the Year and Wall Award.
Attention State Champs Nation! Applications are open for the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation's Male and Female Michigan High School Athlete of the Year Awards. Are you a recognized or projected first-team All-State athlete this school year? Do you maintain a 3.0 GPA or higher and lead through your school or community volunteer work? We want you to apply. 12 finalists, 6 male, 6 female. Each will receive $1,000 for college expenses. 2 winners will take home $5,000 each. The 28th High School Athlete of the Year Awards will be held Monday, June 2nd at the Detroit Athletic Club and stream live on the State Champs Sports Network. Don't wait. Applications close Saturday, March 15th. You can't be nominated if you don't apply. Go to dacathleteoftheyear.com. That's dacathleteoftheyear.com.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Sonnebogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
Time now for our State Champs Warrior Hockey Player of the Year update. So, Sean, we're going to be making not one, but 2 changes to the top 10.
Yeah, we say this every year. We use the showcase as moving week. I'm going to repeat something that I said earlier in the show, John. The talk of the tournament was Justin Boink. Period, end of story. He was the best player on the ice against Flint Powers. I didn't see the next day. I know he added 2 more goals. What he's doing on the back end for Catholic Central can no longer be denied. So we had to get him on there. We talked him up last week, and then he backed it up in a big way. So no doubt about it, we had to put him on our list.
So, Sean, we have talked about Jeffords, especially in the last few weeks. They've been in your rankings. We're going to be adding a player on from their team.
Yeah, really, you could go back the first show of the year. Right? We had a lot of people calling us and saying, keep an eye out for the Jets. Keep an eye out for the Jets. I had a lot of coaches call me and say, this kid's pretty special. Brett Heinonen from the Jets, no doubt about it. Take a look at his numbers. Take a look at what he's done in some of the big games. He has been a dynamic player, and we could ignore him no longer. What a great story that we're seeing happening right in front of our eyes up in Jeffers.
All right, so you can cast your vote for Justin and Britt on our website at statechampsnetwork.com, and that was our State Champs Warrior Hockey Player of the Year update.
Out here, it's not just about the hustle. It's about breaking the game. Every single day. Zeroing in on what we want, putting a target on it, and hitting the bullseye. Over and over again, because second best, that's for somebody else's story. The fire that fuels us, the bond that unites us, we don't just play the game. We set it ablaze. We break through.
time now for our State Champs Warrior Hockey Wall Award update. So Sean, Evan Sivvy from Trenton, he was on our list at the start. He was taken off, but now he is back.
He has been outstanding for the Trojans, and we say it all the time. Just because you come off the list doesn't mean you have to stay off the list. I thought he was outstanding in the game that we did. He's been outstanding down the stretch. A lot of people talking up his game, and his game is proving it. So, Evan, welcome back on the list.
And we have talked a lot about the Lakes Area United. You know, there's been a great story this year. They're in our top 25 rankings, and it starts with their goaltender.
I saw this kid last year against M1, and if you remember, I said, boy, they got a special one out there. And this is a guy, he has gone all the way this year. That is not easy to do, to play in every one of your team's games. And to have them where they're at with some of the big wins that they've had, Mr. Van Sweden, welcome to the list. There's no doubt about it. We could ignore you no longer. I think your play has dictated that. It looks good on you and your squad.
You can cast your vote for Evan and Jacob on our website at statechampsnetwork.com. And that was our Wall Award update, brought to you by our friends at Warrior Hockey. All right, Sean, let's preview the week ahead in high school hockey. And how about round 2 between Livonia, Stevenson, and Heartland on Friday night for the KLAA Championship?
Man, that has been theater for so many years. I mean, I think it's a tribute to what Coach Mitchell has done at Livonia Stevenson, and certainly what Rick Gadwa has done. I think so many times people talk about teams being loaded, but you know, John, we were having the conversation the other day. You have to give a lot of credit to the development as well, and the kids buying in to what the coaches are selling. Just another epic chapter in what has turned into a really good rivalry.
Yeah, they just played over a week ago, and it felt like a Smythe Division hockey game. It was 8-5.
Yeah, they opened it up, but they're two teams that you know they can shut her down just as easily, so it'll be fun to see how that transpires.
How about a KLAA crossover on Friday night between Salem and Brighton? So, Sean, you have Salem in the rankings for the first time this season. How about that line with Chapit, Patel, and Comiskey?
Hey, you know, I said it earlier in the year. I felt it could be one of the best lines in the state, and they are one of the best lines in the state. And, you know, Johnny, earlier in the show, we were talking about teams getting right at the right time. I think Salem's like that. Don't pay attention to the record. Seriously, don't pay attention to the record. Take a look at how they've been going like that. And the schedule that they play, it's only made them all the better for it towards the end of the year. And certainly, Coach Seeley has them primed for a run.
And how about Brighton? You know, they seem like they're getting on track now.
Same thing. It's about steadily getting better, and we've seen Coach Cavisto do this so often in his career. That young team isn't so young anymore, and they're getting ready for Bulldog time, and it's the playoffs. How many runs have we seen the Bulldogs take? That's why you never, ever, ever count out the Brighton Bulldogs.
So I had the opportunity to try to get Kurt Cavisto on the Kid Cam this weekend, and he denied me. He felt like it was like a TMZ interview. He put his hand in front of the camera. He's like, no, get away.
I saw that. That was pretty funny. I saw a clip of that. But no, hey, listen, great guys, and you know I'm a big fan of the Kid Cam. I'm the guy who dubbed it the Kid Cam, for goodness sake. So respect to the Kid Cam.
Also on Friday night, we're going to head to the MAC, a big one between Romeo and Utica Eisenhower.
Two teams with really good goaltending. You know, if you haven't seen, I think Holmes is having a fantastic year, and D'Angelo's another one of those guys. Look, it's not easy when you're playing every one of your team's games. It's a grind. So I think a game like that comes down to two pretty darn good goaltenders. Who's the better one on that night?
There's some great games on Saturday. How about Howell taking on Clarkston?
Outstanding. Boy, Nathan Breyer. How many people out there thought with all the losses that Clarkston had, that Clarkston might take a step back? My goodness gracious, no. They're getting right at the right time. Again, Johnny, I think they're one of the best in the state. You're talking about two coaches that deserve serious consideration for Coach of the Year in Coach Breyer and Coach Robertson. I know the first thing both of them would do would try to give the credit to their teams, but I think it really starts with the job that they've done to cultivate this and get them to the point that they're at.
A great cause on Saturday night. It's Brother Rice taking on Orchard Lake St. Mary's. It's going to be the annual Pink at the Rink.
This is awesome. I think it's fantastic that they've done this for years. And, John, let's face it, here's another Brother Rice, you have to consider them one of the favorites again in Division II. And John, if I were to pick a team right now, I think the Eaglets are probably the favorite in Division III. Now, we know how the favorite sometimes works itself out. That doesn't guarantee you anything. And I think Coach Klanow and his staff know this, but I think they've got good depth up front. They've got goaltending. That's going to be a team that's going to be dangerous for anybody to beat once the D3 playoffs start.
And finally, so Sean is going to go on a road trip on Saturday. I'm going to try to do my best to get out there as well, but the OK Conference is going to have their first annual tournament this week.
I love it. When Joe Brazil, the head coach at Granville, told me about this in the summertime, like I jumped. I'm serious. This is such a great idea. I hope that they lead the way and you see more of this all across the great state. Have that conference tournament. I think it's fun to get everybody in the same place and kind of play it out. But no, Johnny, obviously I hope that you can make it over, but I know I'm going to be over there. I might have a few special guests with me as well, but I'm really looking forward to it. Hey, there's so much good things going on the west side. I think you see it with EGR. You see it with Byron Center, Caledonia, Granville taking a step back up, Forest Hill Central. To be able to go out there and see it in person, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and there's not really like a favor in this because all these teams, they battled each other. You know, it's not like East Grand Rapids is the favorite or Byron Center. It's up for grabs.
And it's pretty cool because you've seen a lot of these teams beat each other to that point. And now to play in this tournament format, it's going to be fun. Great idea. So I'm glad, Johnny, that we're going to have some eyes out there, some cameras out there, and I'm going to be able to take it in person.
So, Sean, next week is going to be the final week of the regular season. How about that?
It's incredible. I mean, the season flew by. Are we going to do that live show, that playoff show?
Oh, the playoff show that you were kind of like, I don't know about.
I was wrong. Listen, I thought there were too many shenanigans that could happen. Really?
An accidental swear word comes out.
Yeah, are we really going to be able to go for an hour with this? And we could have done a 3-hour show. That was fantastic, so I welcome it, John.
Well, and also, too, you're going to get our pals in the chat. You know, you got Tornado Allen. You know, we had Tornado Allen in the stream.
Yes.
He was flashing away his hat.
I gave him a shout-out as well. So, yeah.
Coach Patty.
Come one, come all. We'd love to have you. It was a heck of a lot of fun. Pretty special community to talk about the playoff.
Yeah, so our live show will be back for the playoffs. You can join the chat during the broadcast, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I loved it last year. I didn't think I would, but John was right.
We'll get Rock and Rye Robbie back.
Yeah.
Maybe Patty might join for this.
I'm in. Let's have fun with it. And so much to discuss, so much to go over, no doubt.
So that is it for State Champs Hockey Time. An exciting week ahead. So, Sean.
See you at the rink.
State Champs Network is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Be curious, make magic. Visit ltu.edu today. State Champs Hockey Time is powered by Alta Equipment Company, Michigan's #1 construction equipment provider with over 40 brands. Get the right equipment for your project every time. Warrior Hockey is proud to sponsor the Michigan High School Hockey Player and Goalie of the Year Award. Warrior Hockey is made for this. The Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association. For all things Michigan High School hockey, go to the hub. MIHSHockeyHub.com. The Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Reaction Technologies, up your game. Go to reactiontechnologies.com for more information.